Okay, for this project, what we're going to do is first place our image. So we're going to go to File, Place in Adobe Illustrator. I have a 1080 by 1080 pixel artboard set up with a raster image effect of 72. I'm going to place that image. Now, once I click place, it's going to give me this little icon. I'm just going to click one time like so. If you see this X across the middle, that means that it is a linked image, not embedded. So we're going to click embed. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this by holding the Alt-Option key and then clicking and dragging. I could also Command-C, Command-V to copy and paste. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have the what do you call it? The Essentials Classic view. And so if you click up here or near up there, it'll be sort of like a drop down if you're on a different version of Adobe Illustrator 2020. We're going to go to Essentials Classic, and that's going to give us the layout that gives us the options panel across the top. We can do this more than one way, but we're going to click the Image Trace button. You'll find it either in the Properties panel or up across the top. I like to click it up here, and it's going to vectorize this. You'll see if I zoom in on the right-hand side, this is a PNG, so it is going to be pixelated when you zoom in. Even though this is high resolution, at a certain point you'll see each individual pixel, but when you do the image trace technique, it will vectorize it and you will never see those individual pixels. Now let me go ahead and click on Window, and then I'm going to go to Image Trace, and I'm going to adjust some of the settings. So I get this panel that pops up right here. I'm going to make sure that I have just this object selected, and I'm going to make sure that all these default settings are exactly like I want them. I'm going to change my threshold from 128 to 5. That's going to do a better job of scanning, leaving me with just the black lines. Now once this is done scanning, I'm going to click on the Advanced button right here, and I'm going to ignore white. I don't want there to be a white background. If I move this to the side, you can see it traced the background. I want to ignore white. So it'll do one more final scan, and you'll see that it's pretty good. Now, one thing that it didn't do is get the eyeballs, and so we're going to have to reconstruct those. But first, we're going to hit Expand right here. So that becomes an image that is totally vectorized, and I could do any sorts of manipulations that I wanted to. When you are image tracing, you must always get as close as you can, but there's always some sort of cleanup. And so the cleanup that we're going to have to do are going to be the eyes right here. So I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, and I will click right here, and I'm just going to delete these anchor points and delete that anchor point as well. I'm then going to delete this inner circle, and then right here I can't delete this because that'll break the path, so instead I'm going to use the delete anchor point tool. I'm just going to get rid of these anchor points. What that does is it gets rid of the anchor points, but it doesn't break the path. I basically just want to get rid of them right in here, and then let me just clean this up right in here, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. Now I kept my reference alive right here because I'm going to make the eyeballs using the ellipse tool like so. I'm just going to try to match them up by size like so. If you're getting any weird sort of snapping, make sure that Snap to Pixel is unchecked. All right, so once I have one of these, I can then take my next tool and duplicate it, but then I'm going to resize it. This eyeball is a little bit further back based on its orientation, and so I can try to match that like so. I'm then going to pull this over here. This is sort of a bonus activity if you want. I'm going to take my ellipse tool again. I'm going to change it to white like so. Oops, sorry. Let me deselect this first. And then I'll change that to white, and I'm going to create these inner pupils like so. So I'll create one, and then one more like so. I will use, all right, I don't have to get it exactly the same, just sort of trying to copy it to capture the spirit of the design. All right, now I can put these down back where they belong like so. I'm going to do one final thing, fine tune the position of the pupils like so. And I'm going to actually subtract the top one from the bottom one. So if I exit out of here and I go to Window Pathfinder, which I have right here, I'm going to minus front. That will just subtract the white from the black. And so that would end up being, I will demonstrate what that would look like. Instead of being a white circle on a black, or a white ellipse on a black ellipse, it's sort of cut out from it like so. All right, so now that I have recreated this monkey, I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to save my progress, and then I'm going to select it select this and copy it. And I'll do parts 2 where we bring it into Photoshop next.